Mm. Okay, so happy Friday. Hello to our attendees. And today, during our BA project Inside Iran, we are going to speak about crucial topic, how to organize BA office in an IT company, like most tricky cases. Together, we will discuss the best practice of BA work organization and the company level. This is a fantastic topic and real practical discussion that will be useful for every BA. As usual, with us interesting and applicable. So I would like to give a stage to our speakers, Dmytro and Yuriy. Stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Volodymyr. So, hello, BA fans. Today we have a great, I think, topic for our very intensive and very valuable discussion for all of us. And with all my pleasure, I want to introduce our special guest and special speaker, Yuriy Gaiduchok, IIBA Ukraine chapter president. So, Yuriy, please, can you add a couple of words about you?
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone. Glad to meet you here on this event. I've spent quite a while in the IT industry. I just calculated yesterday that my first program was written like over 35 years ago, and I've spent like 20 years in what we call professional IT in large IT companies. Firstly, starting with business analysis and building that direction in multiple really large companies. But I was also focused on building the product management directions, transforming the entire large businesses, including the IT outsourcing in one of the companies I worked on. And also my primary focus for the last few years, like maybe 7 years, was various activities across the company, which I call the general management, building, helping building the services portfolios in other directions, and overall helping the business to become more efficient, more predictable, and work on like the higher level of maturity. For the business analysis specifically, I've built various types of the business analysis organizations, large and small. They may be called the business analysis office. They may have other names. So we'll talk about those different cases today with Dmytro.
Thank
And
you.
I'll try to share the experience that I have in those areas.
Thank you very much, Yuri. You have awesome experience. I think unique experience, especially when you covered, these all positions. All you made this way, yeah. So that is a great chance, guys, to see to hear attentively Yuri and his piece of advice for each case. So let's start. And as usually, I am Dmytro Lozovytskyi, Chief Business Analyst, EPAM, and also IIBA Ukraine Chapter Director of Competence Growth with you today. And a kind reminder about our new format, new event format. So 30 minutes of active discussion, 3 practical cases, 2 experts, and as usually, our one-pager helper for you guys for your best work ever. And let's shift to the first case because our timer was started. And case 1, we have pretty interesting case. We named this case with Yuri yesterday as disorganized BAs. Yeah. And what kind of conditions we have here? As usually, guys, we can face with the situation or this case when BAs working in project silos. Yeah. And BA services are not defined. Company BA standards are absent or poorly defined, yeah, or just have some gaps, major gaps. People management performed by non-experts. BA performance not managed. Competence, growth, and career paths are different in every project. Oh my God, what we are doing with that? What we are going to do with that? Yuri, pass the word to you.
So basically, in this case, we discussed the situation where you, as a business analyst, you may know a lot, and you may do a lot, implement various business analysis practices and activities, but your influence is only your project. So there is no established communication between projects, no centralized management and organization for doing all of that. And this is why you have all of those conditions. So here, the best option, the best solution, the most applicable one will be to start forming and building the so-called community of practice. So today we'll use two terms, the community of practice and center of excellence. So you may find various other names for those, but this basically means that you don't have a centralized division or unit or department. You just have people that, BAs in our case, that wish to grow, to exchange their knowledge and to build some of the basics in managing the business analysis in the organization, but also proving the value of a business analyst on a project inside the organization, inside the company, but also for all of the clients. I view business analysis, like my holistic view for viewing that in the company, it will contain three large pieces. One will be the competence, the other two will be standards and services. And the forming the COP, the primary focus here will be to try to grow and improve the competence, which may be focused on understanding, preparing for and obtaining the certification and explaining in business analysis specifically and explaining that value to across the company, sharing the knowledge that you have within the existing experts, existing business analysts, and try to develop that knowledge. And then for those other two areas, the standards, maybe you would like to develop some of the templates that of the business analysis artifacts, could be like large scale documents or smaller ones, which you would like to maybe standardize, discuss among the BAs that may form this community of practice, and then try to deploy to as many projects as possible that are employing the business analysis. For the
Well, I
other
haven't.
elements of the
Yeah.
competence and standards, I think that probably that would be it, the focus for the community of practice. And the third area, the services, I think it will be entirely skipped here due to the lack of time and energy for doing that. And the challenges that you will face for doing that, number one will be not just finding the experts that have the quite wide knowledge in business analysis, but also the people that will have some basic managerial skills to help to organize this type of community. And the other one will be how it will work in real life. So in this case, there will be no large funding for such type of the community, and you will have to find people, or we will have to find people that will be willing to spend some extra time in overtime, which might be paid by the company, or the people that were willing to like dedicate just a small portion of their time in addition to regular project needs to spend on forming that community. And another important issue that you may face here is that, okay, so you may gather this community, you may organize a series of various meetings to share that knowledge, to develop the templates, maybe to discuss the standards that you may use in your practice, maybe even to touch the domain topics within smaller groups. But then all of the artifacts, all of the best practices and guidance that you will develop, there will be a big challenge to actually make it work on projects, to explain the value of that to project managers, department managers, to other BAs, which may not be even a part of your community. It doesn't necessarily have to involve all of the BAs in the organization. So a lot of the efforts will be spent to to deploy the things that you have developed inside that community. But overall, this type of solution will build those basic things maybe within half a year, and then part of those conditions will be resolved, not all of them. So you'll break those silos partially. Probably you'll not define the services, but you'll have some basic standards established, and over time you will be able to show the value from that to management, to clients. Probably you will not manage the performance of all of the BAs in detail, but you'll know more about that. But definitely the competence growth will be on a way higher level than it was before. It will not be your individual challenge as a business analyst, but now it will be easier for you to grow along with others and explain the value from that to the management, which will allow you to switch to more advanced forms of that, like the centers of excellence, but first you have to create and manage this
Okay.
group for a while.
Okay, that is awesome. Actually, I can say, bench of information for our guys. But I have two questions for this case, as usually. Yep, Yuri, please, maybe you can provide some kind of piece of advice for our guys, for our colleagues, when you faced with a case when guys, that are not right now as a community, that they don't act right now as a community of practice, but you want to do that, with them, and somebody in that group, or maybe one person, maybe a couple of persons, just they don't want to do that. Actually, what you're going to do with these guys, or maybe how you can involve them in that group.
And did you mean here some of the business analysts that belong to the organization?
Yes, they don't want. They don't see any kind of maybe sense to share their expertise inside that group or act as a group.
So I think for the communities, quite often it may work when you first organize that community, you conduct a few meetings using your free time, and then maybe you can come to like your division management, company management, depends on the size of your company, and explain that we are doing this already, but we can do better, we can do more meetings, we can involve more people if we'll get some funding. And this may be a good justification for that. But for the question that you have asked, I think that you have to start, you can start with a smaller group and then try to develop some of those templates, maybe the insights, could be some basic knowledge base, even the set of literature with the references, and then try to deploy that within your smaller group, show the value from that to your project managers, department managers, maybe resource managers. And then after you've done that, which will take maybe a few months, and then you can either come to other project managers, department managers, and ask them to use your standards, or just gather those BAs and explain the value to them. I think that all of them should be interested into making their life easier. But overall, there will be some people that you would not be able to involve, I think, which is quite okay in this format. So if it will get quite wide, but will not cover all of the projects, that's fine. You will still get the value from the people that are interested. And I think that if somebody is not interested in growing all of the time professionally, maybe it's fine that those people will not be joining your group and disrupting the meetings.
Thank you so much for this beautiful first case, but we are time restricted. So let's go forward. And guys, the next case is about from COP to COE. And what kind of conditions do we have here? BA's work lacks predictability and high performance. Hiring and retaining senior plus level expert is challenging due to the absence of clear growth paths. And industry practices are not institutionalized. Company project execution struggles with requirements-related issues and risk. Oh my God, this case looks like as a storm in the sea. So, Yuri, what we are going to do here?
So I think that many companies will fall under this category when you may have some kind of basic knowledge sharing in your company, maybe some of the very basic standards built, but then we all know that more and more projects fail like this year compared to the percentage of the failed projects that we had 5-10 years ago. So the complexity of projects is increasing, and poor requirements or issues with the requirements are the primary cause of multiple failures. And here we discuss the case when the company already understands that. So the delivery managers, maybe company managers, see that the process of delivering projects like in the analysis stage, in the medium stage, and maybe in the late stages, in the launch and deployment, is not performing as good as expected. And this is why just building the communities of practice will not help that much. Here you will have to invest time and energy from the company perspective in doing that on a more advanced level. And one of the conditions that we have here is focused on the senior plus level. It means that if you are like the professional business analyst, like the really good senior BA or maybe higher level, you probably will not join the company or maybe the other division. Well, you not have the support for what is your career path, how you can clearly grow, who can help you to identify the gaps, and then with those gaps make projects perform better. And with those three areas that I've just outlined in the previous case, the services, competence, and standards, here we have way more work to do. So when we discuss the competence, so in case of the COP, we may be focused on the certification, maybe basic knowledge sharing, but then here you have to develop that knowledge in a systemic way across the organization. So way more activities expected here. The certification will be probably a must. So again, the same area but covered in a like more depth. Then you will have to organize lots of trainings for the people when you'll identify like the current state, the current knowledge and skills for the experts in the organization, and then how you can move them to this desired next level. There will be lots of trainings that you will have to involve externally and build internal trainings. You will have to develop a way to evaluate the knowledge, which has to be structured. So a lot more work to do in the competence area. Now for the services, for the building the organization that is responsible for business analysis in the company, which may be small, maybe this may be 2 people, maybe I think up to 7, 8 people, depends on the scale. Then you will have to define how you can consult projects internally, where you may receive requests from project managers, delivery managers, maybe from BAs directly on projects. You'll have to market the value from business analysis as a direction, as a profession, and from the skills and knowledge that such experts may possess, already know in your organization internally. So market that within your company, but also market that externally, so that it will not be a question for any projects to involve the business analyst. You will have to help the company to win more projects and to cover the business analysis in early stages. So develop the approach on how to involve business analysts across the company in pre-sales in the best possible way. You will have a lot of the resource management activities, like focusing on the pools, hiring the reserves, onboarding new people, and you will have to provide, that's my view, all of that in the form of the internal services within the company. And then in this case, you will have to build some standards. Obviously, nobody will request to please create me a standard, but without that, you would not be able to build those services and improve the competence. So you will have to define the job descriptions if they are already not existing in this case, build necessary competence models, like what kind of knowledge and skills is required or necessary on each of the professional levels, build a clear career path for all of the people involved, and then build a way more extensive set of templates and other guides that may help your BAs to perform better on various projects. Maybe build some kind of portal for them, define what kind of software they may be using. But now with the challenges to resolve most of those conditions that we have here, I think the number one issue that you will face here is proving the value for this separate center of excellence organization. Again, maybe quite small. It may be combined of maybe one person full time, and then some set of people that work 50-50 on a project, and then helping with the center of excellence. But then you will have to clearly, you will need the budget for that, and you will have to clearly articulate the value and the return on investment, even in a qualitative way for the management, to explain why we need this center of excellence to launch it and then fund it over at least a year or 2 years, and then continue the operations. So This may be quite complex, but I think that when you explain that you reduce the project's risks in terms of poor
So
quality or missed schedule or being over budget, and explaining the DBAs will be more efficient, then this challenge may be resolved. You had a question just on this one?
yes, yes, yes. I just have a comment and one question more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you highlighted very, very important, I guess, message for all of us, that business analysts just should and could provide the complex value for the whole company on the whole company level. That is great because very often our colleagues, non-BA colleagues, yeah, just thinking about the business analyst as a requirement, about requirement manager or something like that. But at the same time, they forget about the all power of business analysis knowledge, yeah, and points of application in practice. So that is a great option that you highlighted before. And my question is simple, actually, why certification or certification programs or obtain different certifications from business analyst side are such important in the process of COE building? Just highlight for our guys one more time, only a couple of points, the major points, in your opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think that the primary transformation in this case compared to just having the community of practice will be that you will have, we can call them evangelists maybe, so you'll have people that whose primary role will be to communicate a lot, like over communicate across the entire organization into what the business analysis, like what it really means, all of the components, since most of the people, they have a very limited view on what's included in the like full scale business analysis, and then constantly explain that this is what we can do, this is how we can grow, and this is how we can help our clients to become more successful. And speaking specifically on certification, my view is that the label itself, so you'll get some certification, you can show that you have it, is not that valuable. The process which you undergo as an expert through the certification, the knowledge that you have to structure in your head, compare with your practical experience, that's the where the most value lies in certifications. After that, even if you will not get the certificate, but you've studied well, you will be able to sell. I would call that selling. So you would be able to sell your activities, your best practices, everything you do better on the project for your managers, for the client, and then become more efficient. But on the scale of the Center of Excellence, I think the certifications, like the specific labels and the badges, will be important to show the clients that are just joining the company or just considering should we do the project with this company, are you trustworthy enough? So do you have all of the like the minimal amount of like knowledge in the company so that I can trust you to develop my project or product or introduce changes in my business?
Awesome. Thank you so much for this
Let
beautiful.
me maybe provide just a few more comments on this case just to finish. So
No,
I saw
please,
the
go
so
ahead.
I wanted to add on the services side. I think that's really important. So when you start building this basic center of excellence, is right from the start switch to a like services oriented mindset. Not telling across the company that we'll be doing lots of different things like activities, training, certifications, developing templates, but try to move that into some form of the service that we help with that. So this is what we get as the input. This is the result that we provide to a specific unit in the company, to the client on a specific project. And this will help you with to articulate like what specific value you provide, to track how many services of which type you have provided. It like switches your view to like more client-centered one, and then communicate that every day as if never happened before. So you'll have to spend maybe
Okay.
like a year on that so that everybody really understands that.
Yuri,
Yeah.
in that case, if you mention this point in the second case, yep, not in the third one, I have one more question for you. Yep. So please, maybe provide your expert opinion or just definition. How you understand the this entity, yeah, service approach for the company or on company level from business analyst side.
It's funny how many people treat the what is a service in IT company differently. So I think it's quite basic. It's a repeatable, predictable set of steps that delivers the result that you have defined in the beginning. So for any service, you have to define what will be the deliverable or set of deliverables from that, and the outcomes that you expect from that service before you start doing that service. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not that easy to define that for all of the services that CUE provides, but in that format, I think it will work well. So and then you define the outcome and you work towards reaching that outcome.
Yeah.
While typically people just perform that, we'll do this and that, not focused on like the end result that we want to get here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yuri. I think that we
Dmytro, I
run
see
out.
that we have, sorry for interruption, I see that we have a few questions on this case in the previous one, so maybe I'll answer them real quick.
Really quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Sure.
question here was how to do this, the smaller basic COE for smaller organization. So I think it's
Awesome question. Yeah.
the primary issue for you here will be the funding. So how much time of a specific expert could be devoted to the COE? I think that you will need at least one person fully dedicated to that. Maybe like maybe 75% spent on COE and the other part on project or other company activities. But without having that person having the budget for someone to really do that most of their time, it's critical here, and without that it will not work. You just switch to having various types of communities of practice, which may also work. It's like less money that you spend there, but that may be the first step to then switching to the COE. And the other question we had was for the previous case for the COP,
Okay.
could it be driven by self-organized COP, or should it be led from the top? So I think the self-organized approach may work even better. Typically on company management level, you will not have this clear need on understanding why you need those communities, and it works better when you start from the bottom.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's hurry up a little bit because we have a format, 30 minutes
Okay.
discussion, but I think we can add a couple minutes more. So let's shift to the third case, and we named this case with Yuri together, scaling value and excellence. So about what this case? This is the most interesting case in my opinion, because this case about the company that wants to win and be able to execute high value projects. Yeah, due to the large company scale, typical projects and pre-sales require high predictability in business analysis. Absolutely yes. So it's about the or it's about creation abilities and possibilities from business analysts or business analysis office side. Yep, and on company level, and bring more value and more money in business, in IT business. So let's go and review this case. And Yuri, stage is yours.
Thanks, Dmytro. So I think first of all, this case will be applicable to larger companies. So there should be a specific what I would call economy of scale that you will have to cover here to make it work. So I think then the company should have maybe like 1,000 people, 2,000 people, depends on the type of the company for this solution to work. But the challenge that we work here with for the company is maybe already having good BA experts. maybe already having even some kind of the center of excellence that helps cover the things like the competence and resource management and marketing the business analysis value. But then here you wish to win projects on earlier stages with your clients. So participating maybe even like the earliest stages of pre-sales, to make sure that you will identify maybe even new projects. You will identify projects that are more important for your client, that deliver more value to your client, which again increase the switching costs for that client, so they will be more dependent on you in a good way for doing larger scale, higher value projects. And for that, you will need that advanced level of business analysis, in my view. And to cover that, you will have to focus and build the what I call the full scale center of excellence. You may focus on building that right from the start. Maybe you've had some time spent in communities on practice, and then you want to switch on that. Maybe you've started basic COE, you want to expand that one. And here, what adds on top of what we already discussed, so you'll have to now quantitatively manage the performance of your BAs. You will have to be able to help your department managers, project managers, understand the current state of their project, to be able to assess the project and tell them what are the issues, the risks, the gaps that you see in the project in business analysis, and this needs a very different level of expertise and some time spent on this approach to be built. Then you will be more focused on managing the performance of all of the employees in a structured way, and you will have to develop the approaches for that. Maybe you can go on a higher level with the competence building, running internal events, maybe some kind of internal conferences, quarterly, yearly, depends on your company. And you will have to develop, you will be forced here to develop some kind of frameworks, which may be focused on reusing the frameworks from the industry, could be your own, to help BAs to holistically address all of the business analysis on the project. So we've developed the like this view with Dmytro for you on a so-called one pager. So I think we can switch to that one, and on that one I'll explain the differences between the three cases that we had. So currently we talk about this full-scale center of excellence on the right, and then in the middle on the left you see the same areas, but with the things that will probably not be covered in those cases, they are grayed out. So for the COP, we're just maybe focused on the certification, knowledge sharing, and building basic templates. Then we add more things in the basic COE. And then on the right, here are all of the things that we've just discussed. And I want to focus your attention here just on the outcomes. So you would be able to read it later after our meetings. But you build the set of services which is applicable to COEs, to not just make your employees more happy and making sure that the company is more efficient in obtaining and retaining all of the necessary experts, but also you actually have to deliver the higher efficiency of the business analysts working in delivery through those services, helping to lower the risks, to improve the productivity. In the competence area, you want your clients to be more happy with what business analysts provide. You want to enable them to earn more revenue for a single business analyst for the project. And you want to retain all of the experts that have high level of knowledge and expertise, since they are typically focused on this need of constant growth as a just skilled experts. And for the standards, you have the most amount of work to be done here. Again, nobody requests you to build that standard, but you will have to build this foundation to rely upon that. And with those standards, you will really mitigate so many risks for project managers, department managers, for yourself as a business analyst on the projects. And these will enable those higher value deals to show the client that we work on a different level. We know what we are doing. We can do it faster than others with all of those materials that we have. And we can, like for the company management, you can tell that we can scale it as quick as you want if we'll get the necessary funding.
Absolutely agree. And as you can see, guys, on that one-pager helper, we also proposed or predict some kind of time horizons how long you can do that, all these, yeah, well, how long you can build the COP and, for example, full-scale COE. Yep, of course, it's not the absolute criteria, but it's some kind of orienteer that you can use in your practice and think about these timelines as about the average timeline, average time that you need to spend to do this activity. And you can just start to plan to do something if you need to do that on your work based in orientation with orientation on these timelines and general recommendations from our side. So I think that we are done. We are done for today. We are good. We made a good discussion. I think that we had a marvelous discussion with a great pieces of advice from Yuriy, as from IIBA Ukraine chapter president, and great practitioner, and also from our side some kind reminder for you guys. Don't forget, don't miss this this opportunity, and please be able to register if you are interested in business analysis, just new knowledge, new vision, new tendencies, explanation, etc., etc., etc. Please register to our IIBA Ukraine chapter and EPAM conference that related to the business analyst professional development topic. This conference will be conducted on 31st of October this year. But please be attentive that the materials of this conference and the language of this conference is Ukrainian language. So guys, you are welcome. We waiting you. And I think that is all for today. Thank you so much, Yuriy, for such marvelous discussion and great vision on how we can build the COE, yeah, full-scale office, and not only in IT company. So thank you so much, guys. See you next time, and wish you a happy Friday and great weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and happy Friday, everyone.